I'm Jason McBride, and I manage the sales business here at Poly across Australia and New Zealand. I'm delighted to be participating in Contact Center Week and look forward to all of the activities that are planned over the couple of days. I'd like to start the presentation today by sharing a short video. And when we think contact centers, where this was shot is not typically what you think. Let's play the video.
All right, logging in. Let's look at our schedules today. Thank you for calling Toyo Tires. Heidi speaking. How can I help you today? Okay, let me take a look at that for you. Thank you very much. Thank you for calling Toyo Tires.
That video was shot 3,000 feet above Earth and an incredible example of working from anywhere. Let's look a bit further from Earth to the Moon, which is 385,000 kilometers away. Our heritage from over 50 years ago resulted in being selected to support one of mankind's greatest achievements. This has been carried forward today and is reflected in our quality of solutions. Remember those famous words, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind? They were spoken through a Plantronics headset. This event was also the birthplace of our headset for call centers with the inception of lightweight, high-quality voice headsets. Remote working and hybrid working is the future of contact center teams. Disaster recovery plans to move to a different site have shown not to work. The pandemic has shown businesses need to be more agile, more flexible to continue to function successfully during time of disruption. Employees like some aspects of working from home. Less travel, more time with the family, which could go either way, and more quiet focused time to focus on work are some of the pros. Significant feedback from employees show hybrid working gives the best of both worlds. Time in the office to learn, socialize, and take advantage of cafes and coffee catch-ups. Hybrid working is here to stay. We are now presented with new challenges which we're all focused on overcoming. The first challenge that organizations face is to improve service levels. By diverting many interactions to digital during the pandemic, they may have met demand, but what about cost? Consumers are looking for empathy because they are in difficult, complex situations and they just want to speak to somebody. The impact of the pandemic is not going away quickly. The interactions will remain complex. And the best way to deal with customers that gives them empathy and solves their issues first time is a phone call. Voice is still the highest net promoter score with all channels. 91% digital averages 40%. Only 21% of people rate digital experience of large multinationals as excellent. A future role of the contact center is to replace interactions that would have taken place in person, for example, banks. And Poly's role here is to ensure that those voice interactions are of the best quality as possible. The second trend is to show an ROI on their cloud investment. Employees will now be working in a hybrid environment, sometime at home, sometime in the office. And their devices need to move seamlessly between a cloud soft phone at home and a legacy telephone system in the office. Also, cloud systems update regularly, so headsets that are now an integral part of cloud soft phones, not just an audio add-on, need to match those updates. And finally, if employees are at home, we need to ensure that they are using approved devices that deliver the right audio quality. Poly's role is to provide a broad range of devices that work seamlessly across multiple different partner systems. In addition, Manager Pro provides audit and update capabilities. Whatever name is used for call center employees, agents, CSRs, reps, etc., they play a key role in delivering a great experience. Keeping these staff has a financial benefit. On average, it's approximately $2,000 to replace an employee. And service quality also plays a benefit. By retaining skills, you help resolve problems quicker. If employees can work remotely, they don't need to work for an organization that isn't looking after them. They can now work in the next town, in the next state, or even the next country. Many employees in contact centers cite social aspects as a key to their enjoyment of the role. Poly's role is threefold. One, provide wireless headsets to make employees feel trusted and empowered. Two, provide USB video cameras to help teams build a sense of camaraderie. And three, provide high-level acoustic protection to ensure employees are protected if customer frustration presents during a call. So how do we solve those challenges? It's all about empowering the right employees with the right equipment. We will attract and retain our staff by giving them the ability to choose where they work when they want to work. Hybrid working is a solution for contact centers as much as it is for the rest of your entire organization. Employees need the flexibility to choose the right environment to deliver the tasks at hand. If we have an open conversation about working from home, it's not always the best solution. Unless you've got a dedicated space, a dedicated room, then working from home creates some challenges. The Leesman Index shows that satisfaction from working from home in an ad hoc space is far less than when you're in the office with your own dedicated space. Companies are approaching hybrid working in different ways. Hybrid working means employees can choose dynamically where they work from. Full-time means in the office all the time. Working from home, obviously, working from home all the time. What we're seeing though is a trend to a much more split view of where people work and giving the employee the flexibility and freedom to work where they want to give them the right outcome. Prior to COVID, we saw very much a working from the office, and the percentages were over 80%. Now we're getting a much broader split and giving our employees the choice, which is benefiting everybody. I'd like to share with you 3 examples of customer success stories that we've worked on globally here at Poly. The first is with a global healthcare company, and we at Poly have spent quite a bit of time looking at persona research and understanding how different employees like to work. When they work, how they work, the type of devices they work on, and we've got an entire persona study based on the different characteristics of how people like to operate. This global healthcare company that we worked with has leveraged that learning and the research that we've done to help implement a one-size-does-not-fit-all strategy. The employees are able to select devices that are fit for purpose for them, giving them a little bit of flexibility and choice around how they interact with the technology. The second example is a national healthcare company, and they moved directly to Teams at the start of the pandemic, and through the Poly devices that are certified by Microsoft and for Teams, we're able to deliver high quality devices to deliver a great experience for all of their employees. The third example I'd like to share is a government agency who implemented video for all customer-facing meetings. When they were dealing with their customers, they were able to turn on video and provide a more one-on-one and face-to-face experience. And although they weren't physically in the same location, they were still able to conduct business and provide a positive end user experience. I previously mentioned Poly's persona studies and how we look at how different people like to operate and the types of devices that they are interested in using to give them the right experience for them. This is all around customizing their experience because one size does not always fit all. Even within the contact center environment, you've got different categories of staff and where they work, the environment in which they work is all different. What we do at Poly is provide a number of choices for your staff to choose to provide them with the right experience and the right outcome. So whether they're working in an open office, whether they're working in a noisy office, whether they want a single ear or a double ear, whether we need noise cancelling so the people on the far end can't hear them. It is all around selecting the right choice to deliver the right experience in the right environment. I'd like to share 3 things as we wrap up today's presentation. The first thing is that, to no surprise to you, voice remains the #1 channel inside the contact center. There is an opportunity, though, to implement video as it drives a higher level of satisfaction and engagement. It is worth investigating how and where it's appropriate to implement video into your environment. The second is to humanize the experience. Your employees are people. Let's not forget that as we look through the technology, as we look through items on a spreadsheet. We want to connect with them, we want to provide them the right experience, and we want to make sure that they feel as engaged as possible. And then the third thing is around the experience of your employees and the experience of your customers. We want to make sure that it is consistent. We want to make sure it is positive. We want to deliver the best outcome. And that's regardless of the platform and regardless of the location that your agents and staff choose to work in. As we focus on remote working, working from home, and now hybrid working, we at Poly have put together a few short videos to demonstrate some of the freedom and flexibility that you can offer your employees around where they choose to work and the type of technology that they've got access to. We might play those for you now, and we hope you enjoy.
Welcome to Poly ANZ Stories. Together, we're going to learn more about modern workplace technology and innovation from experts and thought leaders right here in Sydney, Australia. Today, it's all about understanding the new normal and uncovering some top tips for transitioning back into the workplace.
The most important thing is that you get a quality experience in the meeting room. So if you have some of the team who are in the room and some of the team who are at home or on the go, everybody needs to be included. Everybody needs to be able to see one another, to have a voice in that conversation.
Yeah.
So critical to have video in the meeting room and high quality audio.
So the whole idea is just creating that environment which transfers from home, office, person, face-to-face, video.
Exactly, yeah. So it shouldn't matter where you are. You should still be able to have that great teamwork experience. And the thing here is that if you can't replicate that same experience in the hybrid workplace that you had when everyone was together, then that has a big impact on the success of the business. You've got a situation where the agility of a business, the creativity of business is coming from people. And if people can't collaborate together, if they don't have a voice, they can't make a contribution, then you lose that. And that's a big challenge.
And what do you think we can actually do to overcome that?
Well, this is where getting the device piece right is absolutely critical. You need to have the right technology in the meeting room so that the people in the room are visible to the people who are remote, and everyone can hear each other and everyone gets to have a voice in that conversation. So devices like Poly's Microsoft Teams Room device bring that to life. You've got the great video, the great audio, and also one-touch join to the meeting, so you get that frictionless meeting experience.
In 2020, obviously we've seen so much change, and one of the big things now is actually transitioning back to the office.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of your top tips?
Things are different. So we ask our customers to think about the personal experience, so the people that have been involved in the transition or are being involved in the transition, ask them for their feedback. What are they thinking? How did they work remotely? What things that they're actually looking to bring back into the office? And some of the technology adoption differences that they've seen. Your work is not a place to go, it's actually what you do. So measuring output rather than input, changing some work practices that way. Technology is a big part of that, will follow being able to enable what you do with that feedback. So helping your employees use the technology to get the best out of them, whether it be audio experience, whether it be video experience, and the quality of product and the technology built into it is actually a big part of the experience you get. And a good example of that is technology that you've probably been used to in the office, where you've got noise blocking, noise cancelling, some great artificial intelligent blocking of noise around you to help you with your experience, but also your customer's experience listening to you in a conversation.
Because that's it. You want to still be able to get the same output, have the same connection with your staff, but from home. Or the hybrid model.
Well, whether you're communicating one-to-one like we are, whether you're communicating one-to-many like a normal broadcast kind of communication, or many-to-many, you've still got to allow that to happen. Right? And so Polly's job is to make sure that can be as effective, whether it's audio, video, whether it's remote or face-to-face. We need to make sure businesses can collaborate well.
Well, it's safe to say with a focus on communication, technology and innovation, we really can thrive in this brave new world of business. Working from home, something that has quickly become a reality for professionals all over the world. Today we're going to learn firsthand how to master the art of working from home and some key takeaways from business leaders. What would you say are some top tips for people to master the art of working from home?
Top tip would be to get out in the morning and get it over and done with, your exercise, enjoy the day, get in nature. And then when you come back, you can enjoy your space. You can cook there, you can be productive. I think that's about it. And then reward yourself with an activity in the evening if you don't have to knuckle down in the evening as well. So it's that kind of balance. You got the morning exercise, productive day, and then something to look forward to in the evening.
I've pretty much worked from home since my first efforts as an entrepreneur. I think I lasted 2 weeks in an office post-university.
Working from home and working remotely, how important is it to still maintain those positive habits as the months kind of drag on and you get a little bit more lazy or a little bit more used to it? How have you maintained that?
Yeah, certainly if you don't get out, you can go a bit stir crazy if you just focus on your work and you're not socialising. But if you find that balance, which is, we've got 24 hours a day, how are you going to use it? So 8 hours sleep, 8 hours work, and then 8 hours play or socialising. So if you can find that balance, ideally, you won't get it every day and you shouldn't beat yourself up for it. So some days you'll do more work than others and other days you'll want to take time off or exercise or just rest. But generally, if you can find that balance, things work.
And how important do you think technology is and having the right tech in place when it comes to working from home?
Having the right tech in place allows you to be efficient. So you're not stuffing around with calls dropping out and poor quality imagery or sound, and you can rely on it. It just gets the job done.
So talking about 2020, there's been so many new words and terms, one of which is collaboration overload. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, collaboration overload, very similar to meeting fatigue, I think we're also hearing about a lot. So when everyone transitioned to working from home at first, I think people were literally doing back-to-back meetings all day, every day. And that can become incredibly tiring. Yeah, I think a couple of things that we found are really important. Number one is to appreciate the situation that you're in and to act as though you might do in person. So if it's an important meeting, then maybe getting a bit dressed up for that meeting. First impressions count. If you're meeting someone in person or if you're meeting them in video or on a video call, then that's a first impression. So maybe making the same effort that you would to meet someone in person as you should do in video. The other side of it is very much eye contact. And so I think this is when almost like being a newsreader and imagining yourself being on TV, but the difference between looking someone in the eye and looking at the camera when you're talking to people on a meeting makes an absolutely huge difference.
Obviously, when it comes to the technology itself, there's a lot of options and it's almost fitting the right tech to the right environment. What are some of your key recommendations as an expert?
There's two really kind of cool innovations that have come out recently. There's one which is for the individual that's using the device, in this case the headset, and that's actually to block out the background noise from around, so you can focus. Think of the devices that you take on an aeroplane and it's blocking out that noise. You're watching movies and things like that. That's the same technology that we have in the headset, so you can focus. Equally, when you're on a video call and things like that, there's situations whereby you're working from home. The kids are coming home from school, someone's mowing the lawn, people are cleaning and things like that. So we've got innovation that's actually blocking out that noise as well. So with your blurred background when you're on a video call, no one really needs to know that someone's doing the cleaning or mowing the lawn.
There's like dirty washing in the background or something.
Yeah, exactly. And we've heard that a lot, right? There's been plenty of awkward moments on even national television where people perhaps haven't chosen the right device.
Yeah, it's all about storytelling. It's it's about an experience. It's not just a product or a piece of fabric. There's a lot more behind it. And with my shoes, I want to express the same.
So Steph, what does a standard day look like for you?
Ooh, every day is different, so it's really hard to tell. I own a footwear brand called Atelier Stefani, and we make handcrafted shoes, bespoke and customized. It's pretty much a one-man show, from production to sourcing collaboration partners, over shoemaking, shoe design, customer relationships. It's pretty much me, so every day looks very different. It's challenging, but also really rewarding.
As Australian businesses start to emerge in 2021, it's become even more important for us to set our intentions for our businesses for the year. But the big question is, what resolutions can we make now to set our businesses up for success in the future?
I think connection is a very important resolution because especially last year we lost that connection, that personal connection to people, to other businesses, to our colleagues in the office. It's really important to stay in touch with our partners overseas. Before it was always possible to travel the world and just hop on a plane. But at the moment, it's all done via video chat or telephone. So I think it's really important to go into a new year with new motivation and inspiration to connect again. I can't imagine a world without technology anymore.
This looks amazing. And so what are some key resolutions that you would recommend businesses for 2021?
So we're seeing two key trends coming out of conversations that we're having with our customers at the moment. The first is around people. So we're seeing businesses invest in their people and in their well-being. And then the second is in around the technology and moving into a best-of-class technology, moving into a professional grade solution. This is really being driven by that working at home COVID scenario where we're seeing a lot of disruption and distraction on the calls from dogs barking and kids in the background and the garbage truck outside or whatever it is. And so by having the right technology in place, we can help minimize that noise and provide a better experience for everybody on the call.
And what are your thoughts about the hybrid model? Because I know everyone's talking about the new normal. Where do you think that sits coming into 2021?
The The whole working from home or remote working is really interesting. I think are past that stage now, and so now we're in this hybrid workplace. And from my perspective, hybrid working is all around enabling the employee to have the same experience regardless of where they are. Whether you're working from home or from the car, from a cafe, you want to make sure that the quality, the experience, whether it's a voice call or a video call, is as good as it can be. We've been working really closely with a health company in Western Australia. And one of the things that they were looking for is a little bit more insight into the technology. And through our management platform, PMP, they've been able to get some insight into how the technology is being used, the type of calls, the quality of those calls, and some more intelligence in regards to how the technology is being used. When I look at it, I'm a firm believer that there are only great people, not great organizations. I mean, people are what make organizations fantastic. And so when we invest in our people, when we provide them with the right tools of the trade, we get a much better outcome. We get a better engaged employee, and that's really what we're driving for.
I don't think that there is such thing as balance. I think of it more as integrating work and life. That the routine just sometimes has to evolve and be flexible, but it always works. I'm a business coach, so I work one-on-one with clients to help them either set up, grow, or evolve their businesses.
And you've been working from home for 11 years. I feel like you've definitely mastered that now. What are some of your top tips?
Having a designated area and space to work from is so important, and sticking to it. For me, I really need natural light. It helps me think. And also just setting yourself boundaries so you're not distracted by just daily things like hanging out the washing and making dinner.
What would be your advice for showing up confidently into a conversation? Let's say it is a Zoom or a coaching session. How do you do that?
I show up to my sessions with confidence, mainly through experience. I know very quickly the answers to certain questions, but it's also preparing as well. It needs to be really clear how long the session is, what you'll be covering. You really need to run it a little bit like a lawyer runs their business. A lot of people would be saying, I want more, I want it bigger, I want to scale. But where I am now was always the goal. For me, I'm at that sweet spot, and it's really about making the most of my time and tightening systems and processes. So yes, I can bring in more work, but not necessarily work any more hours. Everything is online for me. Well, I do all my coaching via Zoom. In some cases, some clients' internet is not great and it's quite glitchy, in which case I can't coach properly. My business would not operate without technology. It really wouldn't.
Work is no longer a place, it's what you do and how you do it. And so it's super important that you can be seen and heard clearly. Some industries are absolutely nailing this, and there's something we can all take away from their story. So why do you think professional audio and video technology is so important for businesses today?
It's because people want to be seen at the best of themselves. And the clarity in audio and beautiful video really allows people to work better together. In this day and age, people are busy all the time. They're working from everywhere, and they can be working from a cafe or work from the hotel or anywhere they want. The capability of blocking out noises to be heard clearly, to block out the background, to be able to sing clearly, all this technology is very important for people to work from anywhere. We have technology providers out in Australia and New Zealand region to provide a healthcare provider and the patients to be connected in a seamless way. And it takes the technology difficulty or barrier away from the actual people who focus on providing the healthcare itself. So this is very successful, and we see really good uptake in our region.
And why do you think it's so important for the telehealth space to really nail this kind of tech?
Well, because doctors and nurses are not technologists. They're there to provide healthcare. The fundamental belief we have is make the experience great, take away the barriers to adopt technology, and so that it's much easier for the technology to cross chasm to connect people. This is why people don't want to be treated as a second-class citizen. They want to have professional-grade devices while they're working from home.